What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another full self-driving beta video, and we just got an update on our cards. It is 11.4.3. I previously had just posted a video on 11.4.2 checking out Roundabout, so make sure you check out that video. I would imagine the results would be similar, but I will go back to them. I will retest them, of course, in future versions. So release notes here are no different than what we got in 11.4.2. A lot of mentions of, picking the correct lanes and things like that, which I'm finding the car is honestly not that good at still. So changing into faster lane because of that slowing down person, which is kind of annoying. So one of the biggest bugs that I consistently have on this version, and we kind of narrowed it down, is if you have, say, a right turn coming up. So I want to move it back over here because I want to see if this bug is happening. I have a right turn coming up in 1.5 miles. And when a lane opens up here, the car will continually drift into that right lane that opens up because it has a turn coming up. And it happens like constantly. It is super annoying. So I'm hoping that's fixed here, along with just the general changing lane to follow route in the wrong direction is still happening a lot for me. So again, you can see we have a right turn coming up. We'll see if that's gonna, happen where we have a right turn. It'll move to the left and say changing lanes to follow route. I'm hoping that goes away as well. Other than that, beta has been behaving okay for me. I've shown construction is really bad still. Normal drives are very good these days. So overall, I'm very impressed. Beta is doing really well with, the occasional hiccup here and there. But I find applying a lot of, so it's not moving into these lanes on the right. So I'm really happy to see that. I'm finding I'm mostly just doing, accelerator taps here and there. And for the most part, other than that, the car's doing a very good job. So I'm going to reroute here. We got a little error message for I don't know why. And I want to get on the highway here and see if merging has improved, because that's also been, so changing lanes to follow route. There you go. Now, I did just change the nav, which could screw it up, but we're still going to the right. So why are you changing lanes to follow route to the right? I'm sure it'll get over in time, but let's see. And then see how it's drifting over here? So yeah, it does correct itself, but that's exactly what I was seeing. It keeps drifting into those lanes, and it's really not good behavior. I have it in other videos, and it'll sometimes correct itself, but usually it goes flying to the end of that lane. So let's see if it will move back over. There you go. So changing lanes to follow route again. Okay, you know what? Since I had just changed the route, I'll chalk it up to that. If you notice, it is still pretty smoky here from the Canadian wildfires. I've been having lots of comments about that. It should be gone soon. We're having rain finally soon. I don't have bioweapon defense mode in my Model Y, but our Model X does have it, and we have been using it, and it does seem to help. So we did get over here for our highway. Let's see how it does getting onto the highway here. All right, so we're already in the correct lane, which is a great job by the car getting ready for this. And we'll see if it'll actually merge onto the highway or just get squished into the highway with where it kind of just goes to the end of the on-ramp. Now, fun fact, if everybody watching this video hit like and got subscribed, we would pass 100,000 subscribers with this one video. Don't you? Isn't that exciting? I would really appreciate it if you want to hit subscribe and do that. So accelerating onto the highway here, which also has been a weak point. Glad to see that. I actually have an on-ramp where the car will go oh, right there. Look at that. It changes down to 45 and it'll change back up to 70. Hopefully. Okay, we got someone behind us here. All right. Oh, okay, it did change up to 70 right as I was about to change it myself. And changing lanes away from merge. So awesome to see it actually use its turn signal to get onto the highway. Unfortunately, number one, we were not up to 70 miles per hour by the time I got on the highway. Number two, it changed the speed down to 45 on the on-ramp, which is absolutely the wrong thing to do. So sad to see that those little bugs are still there. You always wonder what these bug fix updates are doing, but whatever. So let's get through this. I'll probably just skip around on our initial impressions drive here and see how it does. But let's go into downtown and see how it does. All right, so I did bump the speed up here just to show you some lane change behavior. So changing lanes into faster lane, and beautiful job there. And what I found with changing back from the passing lane, so I was saying before that wasn't really working for me, and there's times where it still is pretty goofy, but what I found is if you have someone behind you like we do now, it is very good about getting out of the passing lane. Now I wish we would speed up a little bit. We're kind of lagging behind this person in front of us here. But as we do finally speed up, I think you'll see before we even finish passing that truck, depending on what it thinks of this guy up here, let's see. Now we're going too fast. Let me slow it down a little bit. So I'm kind of messing with it, but I really want to show you some of these behaviors. So there we go, changing out of passing lane, turns that turn signal on and gets out of the passing lane right away because it detects that car behind us. Now, if nobody's behind you, it seems like it will stick in the passing lane. I personally don't think it's the right option, but overall, or the right attitude, but overall, like, if nobody's there, who cares? It doesn't really matter. But I found even before you finish passing that person to your right, it'll turn that turn signal on just as I would do to kind of show the person behind you, yep, I'm gonna move out of your way, don't worry. It is an excellent, amazing behavior, and it works so well. All right, we'll exit the highway here, choosing right fork to stay on route. Let me know what you think about that message. I don't like that. Is that, I mean, I guess it's kind of a fork, right? But we're exiting the highway, so changing lanes to exit highway? I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. I think that message is kind of silly, but that's what it says now when you exit the highway. We got a guy running to his car here. He's visualized. I'm not sure why he was out of his car, but there you go. The Tesla sees him, no problem. All right, so moving into downtown Fenton here, I've noticed the autopilot navigation complete message comes up a lot earlier now, which makes sense because they want to let you know. Please don't reroute till you're through the light. Thank you. And now we're going to go to our triple stop sign. Downtown should be decently busy here. We're in downtown Fenton, so it's stopping because it's at its destination. There we go. Now it continued. I just pressed the accelerator a little bit, but it was just stopping where I had originally told it to stop. So we'll continue to our next destination. I also, unfortunately, am still having the problem of, you can see right now, routing with no traffic data. And my GPS is starting to drift, and I'm pretty sure it's a hardware problem. I have once again put in a ticket. Oh, that was a Rivian van up there, just unlabeled. With Tesla to get that fixed. Hopefully this time they'll fix it. They just keep telling me, no, nothing's wrong, but there's something wrong. You can clearly see it. It'll take me sometimes like 5 minutes for destinations to load, like the nav and stuff. It's terrible. So triple stop sign, we'll see how the car does here. It's been very good at this for a while in terms of taking its turn, waiting when it needs to. So obviously that person's there first. We will make our complete stop. And as soon as they get out of the way, we should continue. And we do. So the takeoff is very gentle, and you can see the person to my right is already moving. Like, we barely move forward, and humans kind of do this like we're going to go, 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 which there's nothing really wrong with that, but when you mix a robot in there, sometimes it messes up. So you can see, look at that, my GPS is off to the left a little bit now. Hopefully it doesn't mess us up, but there's honestly nothing I can do. And this is one of my kind of, things when people are like, oh yeah, your hardware 3 car can be a robotaxi. It's like, where's the redundancy? Like, if this was a robotaxi right now, of course, an error would probably be thrown and they'd take it in to fix it. But if you're in the middle of a trip and this happens, it had never happened before, it's a concern you really got to think about. So nicely moving through downtown here. We will have to move to this left turn lane, waiting for the legal opening, and we got the green, so let's hope it will. Nope, it's definitely not going to go through that. And we will wait for our turn, which will change to blinking yellow. We'll see how the car handles that. All right, so we got our blinking yellow. The car is moving forward and very nicely decides to take that, which absolutely it should do. You can see the planned path there was beautiful the whole time. Now here's where we mess with the nav a little bit. I'm going to delete that and let it mess up. Now it's got me wondering, like, if I have a new chip that this fixes whatever my issue is. Wow, all those cars displayed. Is it going to fix this kind of issue where it's rerouting all the time and messing up? Now again, I know that this kind of crazy rerouting stuff is maybe not the most like, oh, Robotaxi is not ready, but it's still an interesting case. And you can see right here, that reroute was pretty good, and it's immediately getting into the left turn lane like it needs to do. Braking a little far back, but no big deal. And now it will wait for this unprotected left to move through here. So there is still nag. I'm not touching the steering wheel very much, but it's still there. And that person's going to let me go. So the Tesla figures that out pretty much immediately. I mean, pretty much right away. Moves through there. That was beautiful. Wow. This, I just think back to like the old beta days, and it just never would have done that. It just would have sat there forever, or it would have been like, all this kind of jerky mess. Things are very nice now. So this is also an unprotected left. Actually, we don't normally take this road because in the past the car misses that reroute so often. And now we'll have to turn right into this busy traffic. So again, we're going to have to contend with all this traffic. Moving around this parked car beautifully. It's just so natural most of the time. I'm not saying beta's perfect or anything, but man, so much of my experience with it feels so good. So that's the same car that let us go before. That's so funny. They didn't let us go this time. So we're pushing our nose out. And FedEx is not going to let us go. I kind of thought they were going to. You know, Beta really tried, and they didn't let us. And so it stopped. And then this next person does. We're moving very slowly, but there's nowhere to go, so I'm perfectly fine with this speed. Awesome, great job. I wonder how it's going to handle this left turn, because this is a lot of traffic it's got to wait for. See, there you go, guys. Fenton is busy. If this is not busy enough for you, I will be going to a busier spot soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video, because it's coming. We got an extra long van in the visualization here. That's what it's visualizing this FedEx truck as, so that's pretty funny. Wow, so very early on this left turn. Actually, I would do the same thing. Why am I going to sit there and wait in that traffic? That was beautiful. That was awesome. And then we'll wait for our light. All right, so we have an unprotected left here. We have a yellow, so you cannot go. You need to wait. It is just inching out there, so this is a little more awkward. So this positioning is fine, but just kind of the moving of the steering wheel, it was a little jerky getting up here, but it's here. It sees that red van, and I bet it's, no. Okay, we have that car, now you're good to go. So let's do it. And okay, a little hesitant. It was a little unsure if anybody else was coming, but hey, it did move through there. That was not bad. I think my screen's frozen. I think it's been that way the whole time, which is super annoying. I'm sorry. I ordered more hardware to fix that, so hopefully that'll be coming soon. Okay, so we're all fixed there. Let's try to just leave this parking spot here. So we'll use the little sexy button. Got a lot of questions about those in the last one. It's I'll leave a link up at the top. Just a customizable little button you can use that I have set to autopilot. It's kind of like pretending it's a robo-taxi. So turning left here, and wow, this street is all tore up. So last time I was here, this was all paved. So it looks like they're doing some work here, and all the concrete is gone. So road closed ahead. That doesn't affect us. Wow, you are just going right through. That's awesome. We did not have a stop sign. That was beautiful. That could not have been better. Again, a lot of the hesitation seems to be gone, which is really good. I feel like I say that often, but it's better than it was. We had more hesitation last time, and the time before that we had more and more and more. So it is getting better, even though it's something that maybe even still needs to be improved on a little bit. It is being improved on. So now this right turn should be fine. We have a car coming, so we'll have to wait for a few cars. Which Beta, you know what? This creep feels so good. And you're good to go. Wow, wow, wow. As soon as it's ready. Oh my gosh. It's just so awesome. The creep is feeling so good in this drive. Because even in, I'm not saying this update is what changed it, but even in 11.4.2, sometimes the creep, even for me, I'm so used to it, it just goes too fast towards the road and goes out a little too far, and I'll hit the brake. I don't think the Tesla's going to pull out in front of anybody, but it's just too much. I can't let it do that. Because number one, I don't want to scare anybody. Number two, the margin of error then for me to hit the brake is so tiny that, it's just, I'm not comfortable with it doing that. What it just did was great. So left turn here. We have had problems with this light before. It has tried to run the red light here. Since someone's in front of us, that shouldn't be a problem, but we will see. All right, so we got the green. Takes the human a second to figure that out. And Beta is right behind with a very nice left turn. A little wide, but I mean, that's the road, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, pretty nice. Now there's something I just noticed. So it selected this. If you looked at the visualization now that it's working, it will, when a lane opens up, it'll select that lane. And it used to use the turn signal. So even though it was staying in the same lane, it was selecting that lane, it would use like the right turn signal to say, I'm gonna stay in or move to this, same lane. And that time it did not use the turn signal. So I can't say that's fixed, but I'm so glad that I just saw that, because that was also another annoyance of using turn signals too much. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can make it through the roundabout. If you watched my last roundabout video, you'll know they're pretty hit or miss. This one should be all right because it's a single lane, which it has a better chance of. And nope, we're stopping. Nope, you gotta go. You gotta go. The person behind me is already annoyed. Way too slow. Way too slow. All right, it did technically make it through. All right, I need to turn around, so let me do that, and we will try the roundabout one more time. All right, let's see if it can get us out of this parking lot and back through the roundabout. So we're clear to both sides. Very hesitant there, and then a nice takeoff, nice takeoff. That's what I need more of as well, is sometimes like when it goes for a maneuver, it's super slow. It just needs to really commit. So we'll have to wait here for a second. Everybody in the roundabout's blue, that's correct, but it'll still show people outside of the roundabout when we're in it as blue, and that's wrong. So waiting here. And then, yep, stop. Okay, so that was awful. He did wave me ahead. He saw that my car was moving towards the roundabout. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that was an intervention right there. I did tap the accelerator once I saw him waving us on. Whatever, you know, trajectory calculations it's doing in terms of roundabouts are just off. That's my experience. It just does not seem to have a great grasp on the speed of people in the roundabout or coming towards the roundabout, things like that. So they're not as awful as they used to be, but they still need a lot of work. All right, so as we do our final pass downtown, I mean, it's a point release update, a smaller update. No huge changes noticed, especially in the departments of the roundabout was still not very good. It didn't seem to drift into the lanes too much in the beginning of the video, although it started to at one point, so I'm skeptical that's fixed. I will be testing that a lot more because I experience it pretty much daily. And other than that, smoothness and all of that is feeling really good. Turns were pretty confident. Taking off was really good. I didn't have any hesitations in intersections, which I was seeing even in 11.4.2. Not to say they won't happen, but as of this drive, they felt very good. So overall, you know, it's getting to the point where, like, as it gets better, improvements are not as, like, impressive and not as, like, whoa, this is insane. Now I can do this thing that it couldn't. So I always try to keep the context of, so, like, what are you doing right here? That's obviously not good, as I'm praising you. Okay, I'm going to hit the accelerator. It said stopping for stop sign. Okay, you're going to stop at the stop sign? What are you doing? Okay, it did stop. And then you can go, even though it's the truck's turn. So it's going to wait for the truck, even though the pedestrians are in the way. That's good. I look back to really the old drives, great job taking its turn, and how it used to be really goofy and try to still appreciate where it's at now, along with looking forward to more continued updates so that the car can handle more situations and more scenarios. So overall, I hope you enjoyed this one. I will talk to you down in the comments, and you will see me in full self-driving beta in the next video.